In order to balance out the fact that we have infinite saves now, Resident Evil 2 has a checkpoint system that's just generous enough to piss you off. Um, by which I mean, not generous at all, and you're going to be playing through like 15 to 20 minutes of gameplay whenever you die. Part of that's just the consequence of this being a more open-worldy game, but
So if you die, you're just sent back to the last time you saved?
the last time you
Checkpoint.
saved or the last checkpoint you reached, and the checkpoints are invisible, so you never know where they're going to be.
Okay.
And since it's an open world game, the last time you triggered a checkpoint might have been ages ago, depending on what order you did things in. So I actually had to do quite a bit over again after Mr. X killed me there, including the linen room.
If you die does that keep you from getting the S plus rank or whatever it's called?
I don't think so. As long as you reloaded the last save.
Okay, as opposed to the checkpoint. All right.
Checkpoint. Yeah. Well, because checkpoint still counts time is the thing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Okay, so you probably would be better off.
So I mean, if you died like immediately after a checkpoint, you might still be fine.
I'm just trying to creep around Mr. X and maybe not lure him down that hallway. But you know what? I think Mr. X might be scripted in that hallway. I'm not entirely sure. But you saw how he popped in this from the same direction both times that way, right? They knew. Oh god. They knew that hallway would be the worst place to fight Mr. X, and they put him there on purpose.
So we're going to the clock tower, I think, now.
That's the eventual plan. I'm probably gonna have to loop around the station another 4 or 5 times to get Mr. X to leave me alone long enough to get everything I need.
Well, the nice part is when you're in the clock tower, he goes away.
Like I'm imagining like a Castlevania game where you have to do the clock tower level, but like death is following you the entire time. That would be unplayable, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, this time I'm going from this direction. Because this means like less liquor-infested hallway to travel. But of course, I was a dummy stupid head and didn't barricade the windows this time. Get in
Well, at least
the door. Door, open. Okay. And I'm pretty sure this is another semi-scripted Mr. X sequence too. Because I always seem to run into Mr. X in this room.
Maybe? I'm not entirely sure.
In any case, I still need to go up to the linen room, get the second spare key again, and then open the lockers again. And god damn it, dying in this game sucks. I don't care if there are infinite save files.
But I mean, to be fair, I feel like in any horror game, if dying has no consequence, then it's
What's
not
the point? There's not scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So-
It's not wanting to die that makes you tense.
Yeah, I mean, so for most games, I would agree. Well, I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth on this a lot because, I think that most games should be accessible and stuff, and nobody likes having to repeat stuff when you die. But at the same time, sometimes that is just a
Kind of the point of the game.
yeah. So I don't know. I go back
Like
and
you
forth.
like you can't play Meat Boy and expect to succeed immediately.
Well, the big thing about Meat
or something
Boy,
like that.
though, is that each
I've
individual
just used-
stage is so short that dying.
Yeah, I'm using that as an example of where if you're not dying, you're kind of missing the point of the game.
Yeah, a Meat Boy controlled game that's really easy probably wouldn't be super fun, all things considered.
The thing is, accessibility is something that is often used as a word that's synonymous to mean easy. Not necessarily true.
Like that's actually, I think that's a good.
Well, there's a
point.
difference between something being easy and easy to pick up.
Oh, I mean, there are plenty of things in this world that are easy to learn, hard to master, you know? Those kind of things. I wouldn't exactly call them inaccessible. Like, for example, actually, Devil May Cry is actually really good about that. It's not a hard game to learn. It's not even a hard game to finish. It's not an easy game, but you know, you can take a lot of punishment, fail a few times, and you'll still have a relatively comfortable ride to the end credits. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's no skill involved in the game. It doesn't necessarily mean that the point of the game isn't the challenge. They just designed it in such a way as to make it, you know, a good balance between accessibility and mastery. Okay, so I guess the point I wanted to make, though, was more that, okay, there are games that are definitely meant to be easy, like Kirby and whatnot. They're meant to be pretty comfortable experiences for just about anyone who wants to pick up and play them. And those, that they have their place, doesn't necessarily count as a knock against them, even if I don't necessarily get into them the way some other people do. Like, to this day, I've tried to get into Kirby, and it just puts me to sleep. I'm sorry. It's just not a game that I can enjoy.
It's okay.
But
you can not have a soul if you want. That's fine.
but
Mark's took it.
but when you think about designing a game to be accessible, you can make it an easy game, yes, or you can make it a game that is easy to get into and encourages players to get better as they go, so that the challenge is there, but the challenge itself is accessible. Do you know?
So, that's actually... So, a game that I'm actually thinking of that has a lot is Shin Megami Tensei 4. Because Shin Megami Tensei 4 actually has a lot of accessibility features in it. Like, you can save literally anywhere in that game. Like, it doesn't matter where. If there's a point in the game, you know, and you're not in a battle, you can save. Whenever you hit an enemy, every time you hit an enemy with an elemental attack, the game saves that so that you don't have to remember what demons are weak to what. You know, once you've hit them with a fire attack, the game will tell you, okay, this guy is weak to fire, or this guy is strong to fire, so you don't have to remember that anymore. So the game has a lot of things that make it very accessible. But if you've ever played that game, it's still a very, very hard game. You know, like, you're not going to beat it just by mashing attack and hoping for the best. You know, you have to... The game gives you these accessibility features and is like, okay, you better use these or else, because we gave them to you for a reason. Pretty much is what it puts it towards.
In general, turn-based RPGs are some of the more accessible games on the planet.
Anybody can... I mean, like... Even though it's hard, literally anybody can. If you can press buttons, you could beat Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Yeah, the only real skill needed to play a turn-based game, apart from tactical thinking, is the ability to read.
Yeah. Whereas there are just some people who physically will never be able to beat Dark Souls. You know, their bodies are not. You know, some people don't have the finger dexterity or whatever, that it's just impossible for them.
Dexterity isn't what I would necessarily say is the skill needed for Dark Souls.
Well, I'm more saying that there are people who physically cannot move their arms and fingers enough to play and beat Dark Souls, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas...
Well, you know, I can't really get into the advanced level play in most fighting games, and I'm probably never going to be making combo videos in Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
But I still love Devil May Cry to pieces, because, you know, it's not necessary to be able to jump cancel into a million different moves without touching the ground.
Ouch.
In order to have fun.
Cut that out!
So no, you literally ran into the good job solving that puzzle comic.
Now I'm just imagining, he's just looking at you on the ladder, just like, how am I supposed to... Oh, he was being polite and letting you get up first. Oh, what a nice guy. Mr. X is such a bro. Man.
He is, though, isn't he? Mr. X does kind of look like the "Are you winning yet, son?" kind of dude.
Yeah, I remember that zombie getting the better of me in Claire's story. I'm not gonna let it happen again.
How long between playthroughs did you record? Like, did you take a break in
I
between?
think I did them more or less right after each other.
Okay, so then you would be.
There are a few
Pretty
things in
familiar
Claire's
with that
scenario
kind of
that dick
stuff.
me over that I just, as Leon, went in, and aimed a shotgun in its head before it knew I was there and just shot it for revenge. You remember in the sewers, the zombie that got me from around the corner on my way out? Yeah. I was looking forward to meeting that zombie again.
Well, he met your shotgun.
Yep. This is my boomstick, etc., etc.
You know, it's not as. It's not as.
Wow, really going through the motions there, Mr. Campbell, are you?
You know, I haven't, to this day, I haven't watched The Evil Dead yet. I've only ever watched Army of Darkness. So, imagine my surprise when I looked up those movies and found out that the Evil Dead ones were supposed to be genuine horror films. Because Army of Darkness is not. It's really not. Army of Darkness is the Resident Evil 4 to Evil Dead's Resident Evil.
Are they actually good horror films?
I don't know. I haven't seen them. People
Because
seem
I haven't watched.
people seem to
either of
remember them well enough. But
Well, Army of Darkness is also known because it's like really insane.
yeah, Army of Darkness is more comedy than horror. I mean, they seemed to be going somewhat for horror when they made Army of Darkness. It just feels like they gave up halfway and, surrendered to the insanity. It's a good movie. I recommend watching it.
And then Bruce Campbell would go on to appear in every Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie.
Wait, is he in the Spider-Man movies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the theater
He's in all three.
he's the theater guy in 2, I think it is.
He's a theater guy in 2.
Oh, is he the guy from the wrestling ring in
Yeah.
1?
Yeah, in 1. And he was the waiter
In 3.
in 3.
Wow.
I would say.
So, what we really want is a Spider-Man 4 in which he's revealed to be the true Green Goblin all along.
Can we not? Like, honestly, like, I'd be A-okay never seeing Goblin ever again. at
Okay,
this point.
it made me laugh when Spider-Man 4 was just trending on Twitter for no reason, and it trended all the way to the top because people who saw it trending got excited because they thought it meant another Sam Raimi movie.
Not quite.
No.
I mean, not that they're bad, but I cannot go back to the Raimi movies really all that much anymore. Especially,
I wouldn't mind another one.
Familiarity is an excellent way to get over a cringe curve, though. Like, I know at least one person in real life who straight up can't watch the new Spider-Man stuff because she's just so attached to the cast of characters from the I wanted to say the originals, but that's not quite the right word here. From the Sam Raimi trilogy.
I mean, but at the same time, Into the Spider-Verse exists and is like the best movie ever made. So,
Well, I mean the
You
live
know.
action stuff. Into the Spider-Verse didn't exist yet when we had that
I mean,
conversation. so I have no idea what she
if you
thinks
want to
of it.
be, if you want to be technical, Into the Spider-Verse is kind of this first Sam Raimi movie.
I mean, technically, like, the idea is that, like, the fan theory is that, what is it?
It's Sam
Peter
Raimi's
B.
Spider-Man.
Parker is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Because he goes through all the same motions as the Sam Raimi one.
I do believe that at one point they were even considering getting
Toby.
Maguire to do the voice, which would have been meta as hell. But
Well, no, because I always thought it was the blonde Peter Parker that went through all the Sam Raimi stuff because he's the one that has the dance sequence.
yeah, but he also has like the perfect life though is also the thing, whereas
Yeah, true.
Sam Raimi Spider-Man definitely did not have a perfect life.
I think it's more likely that neither of them are Sam Raimi, and they just have references to it in the same way the PS4
Yeah.
Spider-Man game.
I mean, that's all it is at the end of the day when you're a no fun sap.
the PS4 Spider-Man game also references the stopping the train with the webs.
I'm just eagerly waiting for Into the Spider-Verse 2, and we can have Spider-Man. Because they promised Spider-Man in the sequel.
I love if you haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse, do yourself a favor and stick through the credits because it was one of the best post-credit sequences I've ever seen in any movie in my entire life.
I still haven't seen it yet.
It is.
Oh
It's on
my
Netflix.
God.
It is so good. Like it is honestly one of the best superhero movies ever made, animated or not animated. Like, you know how a lot of people say that Batman: Mask of the Phantasm is the best Batman movie.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are saying the same thing about Into the Spider-Verse. Like it's just the best
It,
Spider-Man
re-
movie.
it really is. It really is.
Yeah, it's like it's animated well, and I think another thing is the fact that they did Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker. I think helped so much because I think people are a little bit sick of Peter Parker shenanigans. So giving that story, which was already well received in the comics, such a well loved treatment in a movie form because so much love went into making that movie. You can tell. Otherwise, they wouldn't have animated it in such a batshit insane style that they did.
Keep screwing up on the 50%. This was frustrating because I already had this puzzle solved, but Mr. X killed me, so I had to do it again.
The twist is that it's Mr. X trying to solve this puzzle.
He just pops in out of nowhere. Good job solving that puzzle. Punch.
At this point, I think I just gave up trying to think about it, and I'm just like, okay.
What's
Short-term
the-
memory. What short-term memory? What is that, Lewis?
What is the puzzle here, though? Like,
Guess, and you just remember the sequence.
It's just you got to remember the sequence of button inputs.
Yeah, and then you gotta get it to go through counterclockwise? Yeah.
It doesn't really. Well, I mean, the
You- no,
the
yeah, you
lights,
have to
the
go
lights
into the
inherent, the lights inherently don't matter above. It's just remembering.
Yeah, you
the
can start
sequence.
from anywhere, but you have to light all the
In the
lights
right
in
sequence.
counterclockwise. In a
Yeah,
row.
you have to go counterclockwise. Like so. Damn it.
I'll get you right one of these days.
Again, during these, my mind just turns off. It becomes laser focused.
Come on,
Little bit,
come
yeah.
on.
I'm just hitting buttons and remembering.
I think
which one
at this
lights
point in the
what.
recording, I was actually physically tired and mentally tired, and just trying to get.
I mean, it kind of shows.
trying to get to a point where I could stop recording and go to sleep.
We gotta squeeze as much revenue out of these videos as possible. So fucking, I'm showing you all the attempts. Oh,
I made the
That's five
same
more cents
mistake
in my pocket.
again.
John, this is BrainScratch, not SGB. That's 2 cents in our pocket. Gosh.
I wouldn't even say that. No, because if it's 2 cents and we gotta divide it up 4 ways.
We get a hay penny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yay.
I'd spent so long on this. I probably would have edited past it if I had. I must have forgotten by the time it got put into Premiere, or was it Premiere that I was still using when I was doing this? It might have been Movie Studio. I don't know. Or care.
No, I think Lewis is just looking
Don't
for the hidden.
do it again,
closet
past.
arms.
No.
You did it.
What? Lewis is looking for the secret Takata song Easter egg.
I did it.
Yay!
I made it. It's done.
All for the thing you did earlier.
Ugh. Okay.
I guess RPD stands for really fucking dumb.
I sure hope
The P is
Mr. X
spelled
doesn't
Yeah,
kill me
it's
again.
just PH.
Yeah.
If you were smart, you'd go save now, just so you wouldn't have to do it again.
I want to, but
Are you winning, son?
Mr. X is out here.
Can you pause the game, son? Your dinner is ready. I can't, Dad. It's online. Yeah. It looks like you're playing Resident Evil 2 remake for the PlayStation 4.
No,
Does not have any online features.
Damn it, Dad! I really wish you weren't a gamer as well.
It's not Resident Evil 2. It's Resident Evil 76. Yeah.
Country
Didn't they have-
road, take me home.
To the place where they don't have to patch NPCs into the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Fallout 76 was embarrassing on so many levels.
And then Todd Howard did nothing to
Most
apologize
importantly,
for
it
it.
wasn't actually the 76 Fallout game.
Is it better or worse than Mega Man 64 though?
Well, any 64 game, I guess, on the 64 that had 64 in its title.
Yeah, but Mario already had enough spin-offs that getting to 64 by Mario 64 isn't that unreasonable.
Not entirely. The Mario spin-off things really didn't start until the N64 with tennis, golf, Smash Bros, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because Mario, in the Super Nintendo only had
Card and
Yoshi's
RPG.
Safari.
Kart, RPG, Donkey Kong,
Well,
Yoshi's
if you want to be technical,
Island,
if you want to be technical, Mario Kart.
Picross.
If you want to be technical, Mario's a spin-off of Donkey Kong. Then
I like how you can just peek around the corner with the camera, and because you're technically inside the save room physically, Mr. X won't see you. It's kind of the thing that I was talking about earlier when I said the one thing that being in first person kind of adds to a horror experience is the tension of knowing that if you're looking around a corner, you are exposing yourself to view as well.
Right.
In this camera angle,
That guy's never going to get that sit up. That guy's never going to get that push up done.
Yeah, in this camera angle, you can Metal Gear Solid it, and just like maneuver the camera so that you don't have to look. They kind of must have known that was kind of tension breaking, because in Metal Gear Solid 2 they made you have to peek around the corner to get the camera to go. But you could still just stand around a corner and sort of have a view of what was going on. So, yeah. And that's all the lockers.
yay! Again,
Wow, I spent most of a whole part just redoing the stuff that I had to do because Mr. X killed me, huh?
and you people say I don't edit.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
mean, you don't.
I mean, I wound up doing it all.
Hold on. Is that what it actually happened? Did you just leave it all in again?
I wound up doing it
'Cause
all.
I'm wondering, like, didn't we already collect?
Yeah,
the
we
packet
already did all this.
I wound up doing it all in a completely different order. And in the middle of that order, I also did things that I hadn't done, like get the cog.
Holy. Okay, I thought I was losing my fucking mind, and I was like, wait,
I
didn't you
so
already
I,
get the
I
hit pouch?
spent a substantial amount of this part redoing stuff, but I redid stuff around other stuff that I hadn't done yet.
Motherfucker, you wasted 22 minutes of my life, and I want it back.
It hasn't all been retreads. I
Yeah, it
didn't
was
make
only
it up to the clock
19.
tower before.
No, but like 10 minutes was spent on that damn RPG puzzle.
Yeah, that was my fault. But I didn't remember that I'd spent so long. Oh, damn it! I keep forgetting that liquor's there. And now Mr. X is probably gonna find me.
That sounds like
Well,
the
he's
police do.
he's always chasing you at this point in the game, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you're back in the police department. Yeah.
Now, I started walking before I got to this hallway because I was hoping he would just, like, get held up in the main hall and try looking around for me there. Because that can happen. I'm heading to the save room now, though, because, like, after getting all that stuff again... Oh, no, I'm not heading to the save room. I'm using the shortcut Mr. X made for me to get up to the clock tower real fast. You see? I told you.
Well, that's convenient.
I told you it was a good thing to do. The more ways you have to get to places in these games, the better off you'll be.
You're not going to investigate the very spooky sound that happened past you there?
No, because I know what it is. It's that zombie that's still banging on the goddamn door.
Okay.
There's a zombie that bangs on the door that you would have used to enter the press room in the original game, and you can just walk past it and ignore it because it's not going to see you unless you draw attention to yourself. Why it's trying to get through that door is a mystery that not even God can solve because there's nothing on the other side of that door.
Well, I mean, the press room's there, but...
No, I mean, he's inside the press room, and he's trying to get out of the press room through the one door that's inaccessible. Not through the hole in the wall, and not through the door that will actually open and close.
Well, he's a dumb zombie.
Yeah.
As opposed to those smart zombies we hear so much about.
We
I
call
mean,
those
there's-
ganados, and they're not very smart.
Yes.
Well, they're
More
smarter.
intelligent. Yeah.
They have
Well, I mean,
opposable
they're
thumbs, and they know how to use them.
their behavior isn't really all that much smarter. They just can't have weapons in their hands already and will swing them at you. You know.
They could also put up ladders and stuff.
Basic mob mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, here we are. We're in the clock tower room. It's the same puzzle. There's no difference whatsoever. So,
Anybody see any good movies lately?
No, not really.
I mean, it is kind of a dead couple weeks. at the box
I
office.
want to see Toy Story 4, but I just haven't had the time to.
John, when will you ever have time?
No, the TMG just happened this past weekend.
Yeah, I know, but like, when do you ever have time ever in your life?
It's gotten worse since. Okay, if we want the real depressing answer, ad revenue as a whole has went down tremendously, and I'm trying to find out the reasons for as that to why it is. So I need to spend more time making content for my channel so I can pay the bills.
yeah, ad revenue across YouTube has been really terrible lately.
Is that a satisfying answer for you?
No, not really.
Things just
Like,
got
be
Okay,
able
it's
to
not
take a
satisfying.
night off.
things just got
Treat
really
yourself.
depressing. I mean, it's fitting. We're staring at a clock tower in the dark. All right, that's the big cog. Now to go put the little cog in.
Just move things around. Yes, you're in the clock tower.
Man,
I mean,
this
are we though? Floating heads aren't flying around all over the place.
I mean-
it's hard to tell.
just yesterday I was running around Kamurocho beating up homeless dudes by swinging on swing sets. And now I'm in this, and it's like such a tonal shift, man.
In real life?
I
No.
thought that Judgment was supposed to be. I
Judgment.
thought that Judgment was supposed to be like the samurai spin-off of Yakuza.
No. The samurai spin-offs were Ishin and Kenzan, and they haven't been released in the West at all.
No, Lewis does with his volunteer time off.
Judgment is the detective spin-off, and it's actually in canon with the rest of the universe.
Oh, Leon, you're so witty.
Oh, so is it the one? So you don't play as a Yakuza, you play as a detective?
You play as a
in that?
private detective who used to be a lawyer.
Oh,
In the Japanese environment of 99% conviction rate, he managed to get a successful defense, and then like almost immediately after, the person he got off went and killed someone, or at least so it appears. Whether or not that's true is something I haven't yet discovered.
Look, someone call Nick.
Oh man. I hope we get a good Phoenix Wright game again one of these days.
It needs to get in line
you
with.
say that because you didn't like Spirit of Justice.
Yes, because Spirit of Justice is freaking terrible. All right.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, did you finish it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that story is really dumb and bad.
kind of.
And I hate talking about it because I can't explain why it's dumb and bad without literally ruining the entire thing, which makes it like because I'm.
We need to just do a retrospective again at some point.
Oh, okay. Well, then go get Derek out of the analysis dungeon. He's been down there for 15 days
You'll
and
never
hasn't
get
asked
me
for
to get him out of
water.
the anal cyst dungeon.
And get some time for yourself, John, to do one.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, that ending is dumb and bad and dumb. There's like a point, like the first two cases are okay. There's like a line
I have to
halfway
ask.
through the third case, where like immediately halfway through the third case, there's like a really dumb plot point, and then it's just like, oh no, the rest of the game is terrible from this point on, isn't it?
Like,
And
it ain't my
is.
favorite game, but I enjoyed it. I liked it more than Dual Destiny.
I'm pretty sure
Dual
this is another
Destiny's
place.
really?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty.
I liked it more than Dual Destiny.
I'm pretty sure this is another place where Mr. X is scripted to come at you, because like he always seems to come at me from this angle, and I'm going this way. Well, not always, but like it's
I like
when
that.
I'm going this way after getting the clock puzzle, because like it seems like they know you're gonna they know which routes you'll take to get back to the parking lot, and made sure that Mr. X would
That-
show up along them.
Mr. X's flash grenade stun is not so much a stun, like he just bit his tongue.
He
He's
put
just paralyzed.
the flash grenade stun is really dangerous actually because after the first few seconds he starts flailing aimlessly at you. So you need to get by him in the first few seconds, otherwise you've wasted your flash grenade. I mean, it's a good way to get him to stay in place if you're running the other way, but it's kind of dangerous to use to get past him, as I find out later on. Anyway, we're done. We have our
Yay.
electrical part piece, and we can get the parking lot pass. So we'll probably be heading to the gun shop next part. Look forward to
You
it.
see,
everybody.
I'm just thinking it might have been easier to get it like a broom and put it through the cell bars and like drag his body over with it or something.
Yeah, it probably would have been.
broom?
But actually, he's like way on the other side of the cell, isn't he? Up against the wall.
Well, Mr. X also like poked a hole through the cell, right? So if we went up a floor, jumped out, went outside, and then grabbed it through the hole that Mr. X went, that could have worked too, I guess.
How we get back up?
There's
there?
no way to get to the other side of that wall, though.
Hmm.